I have made two big mistakes. Let's talk about that. Number one is I decided it'd be a great idea to work on a modern bike. I have a Cannondale Topstone 2, I believe. It came out a couple of years ago now. It has this amazing paint job. It's a beautiful gravel bike with pretty decent components. It's sick. It was one of those bikes I was like, I really, really, really want one of those, and I bought it and it was amazing. How many times have I ridden it? 4, 5 times, maybe. I used it commute to work for a while, but I don't count that on gravel. I haven't really. The big reason for that is the fact that I'm not a fan of drop handlebars. I get them. They're very comfortable. They kind of, you know, they're very roady. I just don't get along with them, you know? So I decided what I really, really want to do was to get this bike up and running again and make it a little bit more me. No, I'm not going to put 26-inch wheels on it, but I am going to probably put some flat bars on it. But before we talk more about the bike, I want to talk about the second mistake that I've made. I've signed myself up to a charity bike ride. That's not the mistake. The mistake is, it is Ride London, which is 100 miles on road. Not done that before. The most I've ever ridden is probably around about 50 miles. I did that pretty much on dirt through Epping Forest and beyond, and then back again. It was pretty challenging, but it was on a very comfortable full suspension bike, so it was kind of okay. But that's pretty much the most I've ever done. As a lot of you know, I regularly ride to and from the centre of London, or the West End, from my house, which is in East London, which is about 10 miles each way. That's obviously all on road. And I do that about 3 to 4 times a week, 60 to 80 miles a week on road. And it's pretty easy now, if I'm honest. It used to be a lot harder. Now I've kind of got used to it. I do it without fail, winter, rain, whatever. But I ummed and ahed about doing this ride for a little while, and I decided, instead of just trying to like do it first and kind of like, you know, train up to doing it, I thought, well, I should train a little bit and then just do it. Kind of the way I build bikes. I just get parts and then just throw them on a bike, and if they don't work, then we move on. So I'm just gonna get on a bike, try and ride 100 miles, and if I don't make it, then I will make it. But it is for charity. I'm going to talk a bit more about the charity at the end of the video. If you are interested in sponsoring me and helping me with that, I'm going to put a link in the bottom, but I will talk about that more later on. But why a lot of you are imagining here is we want to look at a bike. You are going to be disappointed with this video, I'm not going to lie. We will not be finishing the bike because I did not know what I was doing, and I failed, and I had to buy some parts and a specialist tool. We'll get to it, but hopefully you enjoy it still, and let's go look at my Topstone. So here it is. This is my Cannondale Topstone. It's a aluminium gravel bike with a carbon fork, and the paint job is called Rainbow Trout. I promise you that's what it's called, but essentially it's a purple with a rainbow metal flake, but it's damn cool. It's got some pretty decent wide handlebars. The group set is a GRX. It's hydraulic brakes, 10x2. It's got a clutch on it as well, hydraulic brakes, and yeah, it's a sick bike. It's just not for me. So the plan is to basically strip it down to the frame. For now at least, I'm going to be taking the group set off that is on this bike currently, because I'm going to be going to some flat bars. The group set is phenomenal. I will say that, like, it's really good. It's one of the most true kind of group sets, at least the derailleur at least is just like spot on. So I do rate it. It's just because the drop bars and the pulley ratios and all that good stuff. I'm going to change it to something else. I'm not 100% sure what yet, but we're going to do that. The crank set that's actually on this bike is quite nice, the crank at least, I really liked. So I decided, because I'm lazy, just to pull the chain rings off, and then I was going to stick a narrow wide on it. This was way more difficult than it needed to be. It would have been way quicker just to pull the cranks off, take it off, and then just put it back on again. But to add salt to the injury, this is like a 120 BCD, I believe, which doesn't really exist out of the manufacturer, which is like FSA. So back to drawing board on that one. So after pulling out all the cables, I moved on to the bar tape, which was extremely satisfying to do, I must say. Way better than putting it on, so that was good. Once I finished doing that, I removed the actual levers themselves and pulled all the hoses out, and then put the flat bar on. And that's when I kind of hit a brick wall. I do not know a lot about hydraulic hoses or hydraulic brakes at all. I do know how to bleed my brakes. I've done that a few times and they've been pretty successful, but I have never completely replaced the hoses. The bit that I slipped up on was the olive and the barb. For anybody who doesn't know or hasn't tried this before, essentially when you replace cables, you have to replace the olive and the barb, which is kind of these things, right? I've seen people put it on a block and then hammer it in and do it without the tool and be pretty successful, and I love a good bodge. I tried for hours, most of my day, to try and get this brake set up properly, and failed massively. So I got really annoyed and walked away. I have now, however, bought a new tool, which is this Jaguar hose barb olive thingamajig tool. I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to hydraulics, but yes, I now have the right tool. I have not had chance to kind of finish the setup at this point, mainly because I needed to wait for this, which has literally arrived yesterday, so hence the reason I haven't done it yet. But I've also ordered some new hoses that have not arrived yet. I'm still in the middle of deciding exactly which group set to put on there. The main thing I am building this bike for is the 100-mile ride. So I don't need lots and lots of gears for climbing as such, as far as the route is. There's a little bit hilly, but nothing crazy. So I'm going for comfort and speed. So more to come on that. So you will have to give me probably a couple of weeks or at least a couple of episodes before I kind of get back to this bike. But I promise you now, the next video and a lot of videos coming are going to be more 26-inch retro mountain bikes, so don't worry, the normal kind of stuff is coming. But this is kind of going to sit in between some of my content for a while, where I kind of hopefully build myself up again, get a bit fitter, ready for this ride, and then build the kind of perfect bike for me. So hold on for that bit. The charity that I'm going to be riding for is NSCCP. They're a children's charity here in the UK, and they do some incredible things for children's mental health and help them through some really tough times. If you want to learn more about them, there will be a link for their website down below. But if you'd like to sponsor me and help me out with this kind of ride, there is a link for that in the description as well. But that's kind of it. It's not a very full video today. We're not kind of completed anything, but I kind of wanted to update you a little bit on something a bit personal to me, which is getting back to fitness and riding, hopefully 100 miles. The last thing I wanted to say before I kind of finish this video is I've had my first letter from a fan, and I wanted to kind of read it to you. Hey Craig, Second Life Bikes in brackets. I've been following your channel for a long time now. I really love your work. I've bought all your stickers so far and I love them, but I would like some new designs. Thank you, Mum. Oh, this is just from my mum. It's actually just an invoice from Halfords. But the point is, I have a load of new designs coming. Some very, very cool ones, if I don't say so myself. So hold on for that. But the current stickers have had their last restock before they kind of die to death. So if there's any in there that you haven't purchased yet, or any of them that you do want, what's on the website right now, which is this one here, that is it. Some of them will come back in different colours eventually, like we know with the Bulky Boy stickers, which are these ones. They're now in orange. There's loads of them because they're quite new. But the Save Old Bike stickers are kind of the last of them that are available on the website. So don't hang around. But thank you as always for hanging out with me and watching this video. And stay tuned for the next video, which will involve the rock hopper and some new handlebars. Check out my Instagram and you'll know about those handlebars already. So if you enjoyed what you watched today, why don't you hit the subscribe button? And if you can't wait till next week, this one is a particularly good one.